your end, I guess. Hello. Yeah, it's clear now. So basically, I'm Jitesh Jariwala, and I'm very passionate game developer. I have been in industry for almost 7 years, and uh, I have worked mostly on Android and iOS games. I have worked on AR VR stuff and educational games kind of stuff. So today's topic, uh, I'm going to give demo about how to create multiplayer game inside Unity. So before I start, I'd like to know, hey Prabha, can I know these are students or faculties or with whom am I interacting? Hello,
Hello, sir.
hello.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, am I interacting with students or faculties?
Student.
Students. Okay, sure. So I'd like to keep this session little bit interactive. So uh, for the students who joined right now, so I want to know, do you guys like multiplayer games? What kind of multiplayer games do you play? Anyone? I can see Aniket. Hey, Aniket. Anyone out of student? Can you tell me about your interest in multiplayer games?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, multiplayer in the sense we play FPS mostly, sir.
So
I mean, my personal preference is FPS mostly.
CS or Valorant or something like that.
Yeah, both, bit of both.
Okay. Have you
Valorant is
wondered
not
how?
my type totally, but CS, yes.
Okay. So do you enjoy any other multiplayer games on mobile as well, or
No,
just
mobile, I
picking
don't
up?
like to play in mobile.
Okay. Anyone else? Does anyone else plays multiplayer games?
Yes, Gosha.
Okay. So I'll start with screen share then. Okay, you guys can see my screen, right? So creating today we'll cover how to create multiplayer game in Unity, and for that, first we need to understand how multiplayer game works. So to for any game to be a multiplayer game, we have to use some third-party services or Unity's inbuilt services. So here are the list of the tools available, and there are many more tools apart from this as well. So first tool is Unit, which is getting depreciated right now, and which will be replaced by Unity's new multiplayer system. And apart from that, you might have already heard about Photon Engine or GameSpy or PlayFab. Little less known are Nakama and Mirror, which are open source and easy to use as well. But so basically, apart from this, there are also lots of tools available in the market to create multiplayer games. And these kind of tools make our life much easier to create games. Create multiplayer games. And uh, uh, in this particular demo, I'll be using Photon Engine. So we'll learn about how to use Photon and create a very simple game. The game I want to create right now is very simple 2D game where player can move around and collect the coins, right? So let's first understand the server architecture. So there are two kind of server architecture possibles in creating game. So has anybody worked on the games in or using any tools in Unity or Unreal or any other game engine? Does anybody know authoritative servers, how it works, and what is client server system? Okay, anyway, so there are two kind of server architecture possible. First is non-authoritative server. So when you create any game using Unity's inbuilt system unit, so what happens is when you create game, one of the player will act as a server, and all the other players are connected to his device. So all the decision making, let's say when you are playing FPS and someone shoots bullet, so does the bullet hit or not? That decision making is done on client system. And in the authority system, all the clients, all the devices are connected to dedicated server, and server is making all the decisions for the game. So someone might ask, why do we even create non-authoritative games? What is the use of it? It looks like total useless thing because any player can hack a game and cheat, right? So instead of using authoritative server, non-authoritative server gives us ability to create and ship game much faster. It is much cost efficient, and it saves lots of times and effort. So sometimes it is totally worth to create non-authoritative game as well. And if you want to build AAA kind of game, authoritative server, if you have lots of budget and time available, authoritative server is the best way to create a game. So does anybody have some question or doubt regarding authoritative versus non-authoritative server?
Jitin sir, you can name them and call them, sir, no problem.
Okay. Actually, I don't remember his names. Aniket, that one name I remember. Otherwise, I don't remember all the names. Anyway, any student, do you guys have any questions or doubt? Because I don't know how much you have learned by this point of time. Have you already learned about networking or how much Unity concepts are clear to you?
Sir, please mute your mic, sir.
Okay. So before we start hands-on practice, you guys must have a couple of things installed on your system. First is Unity system, a Unity engine, and if you haven't already, please create a Photon account. So you can go to Photon engine and create account here. So and there is a PUN2 package available on Asset Store. You need to add this package to your library and have it ready for our use. All right. So can you see my second screen as well, or is it just browser showing up? Hello.
Students, we request your reply so that speaker can know whether you're there or not and whether he is connecting with you guys or not. So we request everyone to like at least 1 or 2 people to unmute and talk. So Krishna, you are there. Ruchika, Tamil Chelvan.
Hello?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Tamil Chelvan, please unmute yourself and you can answer. Or
Sir,
anyone else also.
sir, you told unit is deprecated. May I know the reason why they deprecated?
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you see my Unity, or is it stuck on the browser?
It's on browser, sir.
It's on browser. Okay.
Hello? Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you told unit is deprecated. May I
Devak,
know
sir,
the
your volume
reason?
is too low and your background noise is too heavy, sir.
I am getting some noise from someone. I don't know. Okay. Yeah. Unit is it is getting depreciated. It is still working. So they are going to support it till like end of 2021 or mid of 22. So it is not totally depreciated yet. Hello. Okay. So every student, please open your Unity and create a new 2D project. Name it some simple multiplayer game or awesome multiplayer game.
Hello.
Yeah.
My question. Okay. Yeah, you told unit is deprecated. May I know the
Yeah.
reason why they deprecate unit?
Because it is older system and they are kind of revamping whole Unity with dots. So the new system, database system they are implementing, and their networking system is quite outdated.
So,
That is why no.
now I am using Unity 3 version 2017.
Okay, you are
Is
using
it
Unity.
compatible with the unit compatible with that or not? Because your new system not working 2017, in my opinion. Okay.
Okay. So I don't think Photon will support 2017.
Photon support that.
Photon support it. Okay, then you can do that.
But unit, what about unit?
Unit will work for 2020 end, or whatever they have written in the documentation or their blog. So so after some time they are going to slowly roll out everything and remove the support.
Okay.
I don't know exact date for when they are going to stop supporting it, but
yeah,
they are
2018 onwards they start supporting. Okay, behind the reason 2018 onwards they use .NET 4.5, but unit supported on .NET 3.5. Okay, go ahead, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when you create project, so in the project, go to package manager, import the package PUN2. If you have already added a set to your package manager, are you guys comfortable with new package manager Unity 2020? So if you already added this asset, which is free on Asset Store, first add it in your asset through browser, then just import it inside Unity. It will take some time, but you can shoot some question in the meantime. Everybody adding these assets. Do you have any doubt where to find this asset? Atharva, Aniket, Rohit, Ruchika, Heman. Hello. If you're shy to, speak up, you can write message in chat. So once you have already imported assets, you need to create your application or use your email ID on Photon to generate app ID. So I'm going to write my own app ID and which will set up my project. So once your project already set up, you'll have Photon server setting available here. If you don't, go to Windows, Photon networking, highlight server setting. Here you can see a couple of things that PUN logging. So whenever we use Unity, we want to see the logs, whatever happening in Unity. What are the errors? So instead of errors, we want to see full log. So change setting to full. And for the dev region, you can set India. Photon has multiple servers all around the world. So closest server is in Chennai, and we can leave it and it will automatically figure out which server is closest to it and connect to it. So anybody having some trouble importing PUN or setting up the project? Meanwhile, I'll just create some folders. Hello. Any of students, do you guys have any questions? Are you having some trouble regarding setting up the project or anything?
Jitesh sir, they are aware about basics of Unity. So you can just move forward.
Okay. Okay, I was just hoping someone would follow currently. Anyway, I'll continue. So, first thing in Unity, before I directly start going into creation, let me just share a little bit of theory as well. So, okay. So directly go to Photon and create Photon type. Photon has multiple products. Select Proton real time, write application's name, and generate your app ID here. So once you have app ID ready, you just need to write that app ID in the PUN setup, and your project will set up. Once that is done, let's just talk about a little bit of matchmaking lobby and room. So whenever we connect to any game, let's say CS or League of Legends or any other multiplayer games, how matchmaking work is we have to configure which players should be allowed to matchmate with some equally skilled players. What happens otherwise is that player experience gets ruined. So that is why we keep track of player skills in a various ways, like his trophies or his skills points or his experience points, and we try to connect equally skilled players with each other. So before we enter into actual game, first we need to define one our server has to differentiate where players are. So first stage of the multiplayer game is where players can go to is lobby. So in the lobby, we allow every player to whoever opened the game and logged into the game, they directly pop into lobby. And from lobby, uh, we can go to particular rooms. Let's say we are playing PUBG. So PUBG has room capacity of 100 people. If we are playing MOBA, they have like room of 10 people. If you are a fan of that latest game, uh, what was its name? Space. Uh, Game in the space. Thing. So in that particular game, room size was 10. So you can define particular room size. Photon allowed room size up to 16 players. So once player are match made, they go into room, and in the particular room they can all the 16 player can communicate with each other. While lobby has very limited functionality, in the lobby player can just find out other players or other rooms. They can get list of the rooms they want to connect or they want to join, and uh, lobby maybe sometimes just like Photon, lots of service has different lobbies per region. Let's say we are connected to Chennai lobby, then Chennai server you will see lobby of Chennai. If you are connected to European server, you will see lobby of European rooms. So when we start making game, we need to connect player to lobby first, then we'll create room. Okay, so we'll directly go to Unity again. So directly I'll create network controller. So I'll figure this out. So for the Photon, we'll use photon.pun, and first thing we need to do is after importing Photon, Photon has created some pretty interesting stuff which made our life very easy. If we use mono behavior, our classes are derived from mono behavior, right? So it gives us ability to do lots of stuff in inspector and everything. Just like that, Photon has created interesting class mono behavior, PU and callbacks. So if we derive, this gives us ability to use all the functionality of mono behavior, as well as it gives us the ability to use callbacks from PUN. So first thing we need to do is we want to join the lobby, right? So how are we going to do that? So we will create first method. We'll just call it connect method, and in the connect method, we'll write Photon network dot connect to master. So what will connect to master do? Connect to master will allow us to connect to any server. And for this particular method, will or we can directly use connect using settings. So if you use connect using settings, it will allows us to actually, can you guys see my VS Code, or it is it Unity? Can anyone confirm you can see my VS Code?
No, sir. Only we can see Unity.
Oh, sorry. Guess I need to stop sharing. Yes, now you can see my whole screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. So we can use photon network dot connect using setting. So as I was writing, we'll use photon dot pun. This library will be provide lots of functionality, almost all the functionality we require to build this game. And instead of deriving our network controller from mono behavior, we are going to use mono behavior PUN callbacks. So I'll talk about why we are using this later again when I'll go there. So first thing we need to do is we need to connect to PUN server. So to connect Photon server, we are going to use connect using settings. So which are these settings? These settings are, so the settings required our app ID and app version, or if we already want to lock our app in particular region, we can use fixed region, etc. So this PUN setting is already there, and when we call Photon network connect using settings, will directly connect to Photon server. So let's give it a try. Uh, in start, I'll just call connect, and in Unity, I'm going to create a new scene. I'll save this scene. This is a lobby, and create empty game object. Let's call it network controller. So attach network controller to this empty game object, and let's see what happened. We try to connect it. Okay, I guess I need to restart Unity. Okay, as you can see in the log, it tried to ping multiple server and figure out Chennai was the closest one, and we are kind of connected, but we don't have any callbacks yet. So there are no logs saying that we are already connected, but we are already connected to Photon server. And with just help of one line, we can just connect to Photon server. It is that much easier. So I'm just going to go to camera and change to solid color. Okay. So next thing we are going to do, public, all right, on connected. I'm just going to write some debug log so we can check what is happening. So because we are using PUN callbacks, mono behavior PUN with callbacks, so we have this overrides available, which on disconnected. So we can, this will give us a events which will help us know what is happening inside networks. So YouTube. So we are connected to masters. So we are here. As soon as we called connect, we were connected to masters. And when I stop, I'll stop this. Okay, again, throw log. Anyway. So now we are able to join the lobby. As soon as we call connect using setting, we are directly getting inside the lobby of the Photon server, but we can play the game, because to play the game, we must join one of the rooms, or we have to create rooms to join the games, right? So next thing we are going to do is create rooms. So as soon as we are connected to master, let's say we ask Photon to join random room, and to track what is happening, I'll just add temporary here on join room, and we'll add one more log. And we'll add one more for the failure. And we'll pass debug log for that as well. Is anybody following up step by step with me? Let's see what happens. We try to play this. So we are connected to server, but nothing happens. I mean, we are unable to join the room, or we are not even getting failed to join the room because we don't have any room created. When we call join random room, some room must be there, otherwise we cannot join the room. So for that, we need to have one more method. Join random room fail. When we fail to join random room, we'll create a new room. So we'll ask Photon Network create room, and we need to pass a couple of parameters to create room. So we can already name a room if we want to, otherwise you can pass null. So we'll just say new room, or I can just keep it null, and we'll use new room option, and that's it. It will create a new room for me. So I'll add one more debug. Creating new room. So once we connected to master server, joining to random room failed. So we are now creating new room, and then we went to clear join the room. So we have successfully joined one room just using just with a very minimum amount of code. So now next thing we need to do is create a little bit of game and game scene, and when player is connected to room, we need to push player to that game scene, right? So I'm just going to create a new scene, and for this particular thing I have a couple of things. I have a couple of sprites ready for this project. So I'll put the sprites, and so I'm going to use this sprite as a background for now. And I'm going to save this scene as a game scene. And for the players, I'm going to slice these guys. I know it is aesthetically not very good right now, but I guess this is what I found right now. So this will be our player, and this player can roam around this particular scene anywhere. So there are not, I'm not going to place obstacles around mountains or anywhere, but once we start to move this player, there will be some coins generation here, and multiple player will just collect those coins, and whoever collects the most coins will win. So that's a very simple game we're going to create. And due to lack of time, I guess we'll not able to complete the whole game in this one session, but we'll do whatever maximum we can achieve. So I'll name this player, and we're going to create prefab. So normally I would have created prefab folder and place it inside the prefab folder. But in this particular scenario, in this particular game, we need to place a prefab inside resources folder, because unlike normal game, when we are using Photon will load prefab from resource folder, not, and so we are going to place this inside resource folder for now. And I also have one tiny bit assets ready. So for this player controller, I guess you guys are already comfortable with 2D rigid body and player movement, especially 2D one. So I am directly going to import this player controller script for this particular player. So just to go through, just for this reference, this script will do, just check for the axis, horizontal or vertical, and we'll just move our player. So just to test it out. So our player movement is a little bit very slow right now, so I'm going to give it. So anyway, once we are comfortable with player movement, I'll just save this prefab and I'll remove this from the scene. So this player will require a couple of things, but before we do that, let me just create game controller. So game manager or game controller, whatever you guys are using. So we are going to create game controller. So in this particular game controller, we'll be using photon.n, and we'll once again remove mono behavior and replace it with PUN callbacks. So we'll reuse some of the stuff we have done here. So we need to know whether player has joined the room or not. That is what we need to know right now. Okay. So I'm just going to copy this and paste it here. We don't need to create fail thing here. So I don't think this is required. Anyway, so once we know that, anyway, we don't require this at all, I guess. Public, all right. Player entered room and player exit room. Those are the events we required. So whenever player joins the room, we need to instantiate our player, right? So we'll use serializable field, private game object, player prefab. Okay, and whenever our player enters the room, or we can use normal Unity instantiate, but instead of that, we need to do photon network instantiate. So unlike Unity's instantiate, this method required prefab name. So we are not directly using this game object here. We are going to use player prefab dot name. So like I said previously, we are storing this prefab in resource folder. So this what photon network dot instantiate will do, it will search this prefab by name and instantiate it across the network. It is not going to instantiate in just your system. If there are 5 players playing this game, there are 5 players in the particular room, photon network dot instantiate will instantiate the prefab in all five devices. So it will load prefab from resources, not from your prefab folder. So for currently, I'm just going to use vector3.0, I guess, and for orientation, quaternion dot identity will be enough. We are not going to change its rotation. To make it a little bit more interesting, we don't want to overlap all the created player at one place, right? So I'll just create one more method which will just randomize our spawn position. So we'll name it get spawn position, and this will just return let's say we want -5f to 5f, random range, so instead of using vector0, instead of instantiating all the new players joining the particular room, what we are going to use is we'll get random spawn position. So get random spawn position makes sense. We'll just get random spawn position. So while using this method, we'll generate whenever player enters the room.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
So your screen is not visible, sir.
Oh, sorry.
Your screen is not visible, sir. Are you showing something?
Yeah, I was showing code, I guess.
But your screen is not visible, sir.
Is it visible again now?
Yeah, it is now visible, sir. Okay.
Okay, thank you. So are you guys following up or creating side by side, or you're just watching right now? Okay. So as I was saying, I was using photon network.instantiate. You guys get decide, or screen was off at that point of time as well. So it is very similar to instantiate. It takes, instead of game object, it takes string and position and rotation. So little trick I did here is we are going to use random position, and what is the random positioning? I'm just checking if taking random position between -5 to 5 for X and -3 to 3 for Y and keeping it 0 for Z. So whenever player enters this room, we are going to instantiate one of the player, right? But before that, we need to create one empty game object and make it game controller. And attach game controller to it. We'll just okay. But before this thing, we need to create build setting. We'll remove default scene and add our scenes to Unity build setting. So we'll first game will start with lobby and then we can go to game. So when we were doing networking stuff, right? So when we successfully join the room, we need to change. So for that, I guess if I remember correctly, photon network dot open load level, and we just use string game. So Photon has created very similar terminology, just like normal load level, scene manager load level. We are going to use Photon network load level. So when player joins the room, we'll load the scene called game. So I'm going to lobby. In lobby, just for some, I'm just going to create canvas and add text. Simple multiplayer game, and just going to have some okay. So we can place play button to connect to room or connect to lobby right now, but instead I'm going to skip all of the stuff for now, and I'll just add loading here. Just to give player something, say something on the screen that something is happening, and just this will look better. No. Okay. So loading screen. Once you set up simple loading screen, just play here. Getting wrong on, player join the room. What is the error? One second. Player join the room. Okay. Let me just remove it and add it again because it's not showing up some error here. Or I should just try integer one. Okay, it worked. So I don't know why string didn't work, but we're in the game now. So when player joined the room, we went into the room and player joined the room came from the here, and here when we entered room, we still didn't get this callbacks. We didn't even write. Okay, sorry, I didn't write callbacks here. Let me add debug log here so we can know when we enter here. Player start game room. Player left the room. So now does anybody having some doubt regarding what is happening right now? Any confusion? Hello, not a student. Anybody have some question? How, what I did, how we went from lobby to game scene?
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, you used random lobby, right? Random room, right?
Sorry.
You used a random room, right?
Random range. Yeah.
Random room.
Yeah. We are using random room. We are joining random room instead of specifying which room.
But I want to connect with my Facebook friends. Okay.
Okay.
So I want to play with my Facebook friends. How can I do that?
Okay. So if you want to play with your Facebook
Yeah,
friend.
my Facebook friends. Okay.
Yeah. So when I created, when I said create a room, right?
Yes.
Instead of that, what I need to do is we'll create one text box, right? And
Yeah, I don't want to enter that name. Okay.
okay,
I don't want create the new room. Okay. So I want to connect with my Facebook friends only without creating room. Without creating means already officially we create that software also create some rooms. Okay. I want to don't want to enter that name because of I create a room name is a room. I use capital R. Friend use small r. It's a conflict, no. So that's why without entering room name, I want to connect with my Facebook friends.
a very
Is it
simple solution would be that we create share functionality. So once you join the room randomly, right? You don't know which code it is there, right? And you share that code with your Facebook friend.
yeah,
Your
how
face
can I share it? That Facebook profile itself?
No, this particular game will let you copy the code of that room. Let's say we created room with ABC name and you said that code with your friend on Facebook. So game will ask you to share, but game will just provide share button, right?
Okay.
And when you click on that button, you can share that code not only just Facebook, you can share it on WhatsApp, Telegram.
I don't want share. I don't want share anything.
Yeah, how are you supposed to share
Yeah.
the code otherwise?
On means, sir, first understand my question. Okay.
Okay.
I don't want to share that code. Okay. Through WhatsApp or Facebook. But I want to connect with my Facebook friends. I have a list. Facebook friend list will be there.
Then you don't need to use Photon. Then you have to create Facebook games using Facebook SDK.
No. Sir, first understand the question. With the help of Facebook as SDK, okay, I list our friends list. Okay, there's some friends also play the same game. Okay, but I want to with a click of one button, I want to connect with my friend.
Okay.
It's look like, did you play carom board?
No, I haven't played.
Carom game.
Okay, carom game, but carom game let you connect with.
Yes, my friend list also. I connect with my friends.
Yeah.
So I want that scenario. How to do that?
So you need to integrate Facebook SDK and invite people using Facebook SDK itself. There is no other way around for that. No matter you use Photon or anything else.
Are you play carom game?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, okay. So that's why you don't.
But you can use multiple SDKs.
In carom games, it shows our friends list. Okay.
Yeah.
And I press the friend list, it gives a request to particular friend. Okay.
Yes.
So the friend accept that. Okay. Then we connect with that. So that's the scenario. So behind that, what are the codes and what are the logic?
So basically, once you integrate Facebook SDK, you need to create Facebook developer account and you need to call their APIs. So that is totally out of
everything done. I have a Facebook friend list.
Yes, but it is currently out of scope for the thing I am teaching. So I would like to skip that particular question because it is not related to multiplayer game. It is related to Facebook integration.
It's also multiplayer game also. I connect.
Yes, it is multiplayer game, but it is that particular functionality that you're asking about.
Then I don't know. Okay, you forgot the Facebook. Okay, just game itself. Okay, did you play Clash of Clans?
Yeah,
Clash of Clans, they go one option. Okay, connect with people. Okay, who are in that region? No, that region without connecting Facebook, we are able to connect because of it's that show the list nearby player who are there. The list will be there. You connect the people. That's a way we friends together. Okay, so that's a way in our game. Okay, I also friend with one of my another friend. Okay, I want to play with that friend without creating any room in myself. Okay, in software do something, no need that. Okay, I don't want to enter any name without enter that name. I want to connect with that friend. Is it possible?
it is possible. It is possible, but
Possible means just tell
it is
scenario.
totally different. I mean, I am going far away from what I'm supposed to teach you right now. So I would not like to do that right now. So something like that, this kind of functionality as possible in Photon as well, because you can get the list of players from leaderboards or some other customizable methods, but it is currently off the track because we are just learning. I mean, I'm going to teach you how to create very basic of the multiplayer stuff,
Yeah,
right?
this is also basic functionality, sir.
No, this, I mean,
This
adding
in
friends.
yeah, if you work with multiplayer game, this is a first scenario. How to connect with another one.
No, I mean, game itself, core of the game is what is player supposed to do? Is he getting? I mean, if you remove carom and just keep the friend functionality, so it is totally different scenario.
Don't want to execute. Just tell the scenario. This is a way to connect that people. That's it. Don't want to execute any code. Just tell them this is a way to connect our friends.
Oh, that way.
Don't write any code. Don't want to write any
Okay.
code. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, just explain it. Okay, this is the way. This is the steps you follow.
So basically, Clash of Clan has introduced like near feature, right? Nearby me or the clan stuff, right? They have disabled most of the stuff right now, but that location wise or the other stuff you have to implement it manually. But in the Photon, in particular Photon or any other game, like there are some public leaderboard or from your match history. If you play with some player, right, and you like that player,
this is the first time.
so
Okay. There's no
so
much
if
to
you play your carom with one guy, right, and you like his style, he plays very good, so you already have that player's player ID, right? And no matter which tool do you use, let's forget about Photon and use Unet or anything. Once you have acquired player ID, you can send him friend request. If he accept that, he's into your friend list. As simple as that.
Yeah, it's a friend list. Okay. How can I connect with that inside game?
Yes,
What the process are there?
You need to know that player's ID. That's it. Every player has unique ID.
Yeah, every player have unique ID, but how we can connect that?
There is just some API calls.
How I connect with my friend?
You just need, I mean, game has a functionality to request the friendship, and behind that there is just some APIs.
No, sir.
Why is no?
Okay, I give one solution. Okay, is it true? Is correct or not? Just check it. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. First you think, okay, you told it that sound correct. Your friends have unique ID. Okay. Yeah. Do you know about multiplayer chat system? Private chat.
Okay.
Yeah. In the private
lots of games are offering those things. It is like weird stuff.
Yeah, 1 minute. Okay, is the help of private chat. We send the request to that player. We create one room ID. So we send the request to that player. Once they accept that, your room ID is in chat box. So with the help of that room ID, we connect with that. It's a simple solution. Why are you thinking about that that other API that like that?
Basically, there is API for that as well, right? Either you go through leaderboard, either you go directly to.
There is no API behind that. Okay. So connect with Facebook, there is no API.
Because API is not visible to you doesn't mean it doesn't exist in the backend.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The room creation, there is no API there. The default function, we create the room.
No, I mean, whatever you do on network, there are some APIs. So room creation itself requires some API calls.
Only once. There are two ways to create the room. One is
so I'll just stop here. We'll continue with next functionality instead of talking.
Okay. You go ahead.
I guess you get an idea. I guess we both agree that There might be some different ways, but those different ways depends on the design methods, not on technical methods. Those things are design decisions, right?
Okay, sir. You continue that. Okay.
Yeah. Sure. So okay. So we were there. Get back to current game situation. Once we connect the room, we are going to game, but there is no players. Player is not getting spawned, right? So to spawn the player, our game controller first has to, uh, you know, whenever our game private void start, whenever game controller get initialized, will spawn the player. So okay, so yeah, one more thing that I missed is photon view. So let's say when we have created player in a single player game, in the single player game, our player moves around independently, right? But when we are playing multiplayer game, our player has to be synchronized. Let's say if you're playing CS, right? So player, player's character should be at same position across all the different systems, right? So for that, Photon has provided very easy solution. Whenever we just have to apply Photon view to any particular player or any particular object, and that object, let's say Photon transform view. We want to, you know, synchronize player position, rotation, or size. So what we'll do is we'll apply Photon transform view and Photon view. In Photon view, it is currently automatically filling out, but I'll just go just for the sake of explanation, we'll set it to manual, and when override component, we'll just attach this thing which is already attached. So if it is empty, you can attach Photon transform view. So what Photon transform view will do is it will synchronize players position, rotation, and scale. So if I just want to synchronize position, I'll keep position synchronized. We don't have any rotation or scale available here. So across all the instances, across the multiple clients, Photon's engine will maintain synchronization of the game objects. So just for the sake of testing it, I'll just play it. So now our player is instantiated here, and I can move him, right? And we're currently serving purpose. So I'll create a build. So one of the downside or upside of multiplayer game is like you have to play it across multiple instances just for the sake of testing as well. So I'm playing one game inside Unity, one game from the build, right? So there are two instances, two player has been spawned right now. So one is here, one is here. And I have applied synchronization as well. So, but you can see when I move, both players are moving either from here or from here, right? So actually we don't know. So what is happening is like whenever I'm using player controller in the update, we are using update method on the both of them. So update method is moving both the player irrespective of who is controlling player. So to stop that, what we need to do is we need to use the photon view method. So photon view doesn't have it. Missing. Okay. At the away, we will photon view is equal to get component. So basically, I'm getting this component here because inside our player controller and photon view both are attached to same game object players. So I'm directly getting component at the away to get reference of photon view. So I'm not going to give hard-coded reference here. And in update loop, I'm going to check photon view is mine. Is this mine instance or someone else instance? So I'll use not mine. If it is not mine instance, I'll just return from here. So what this will do, file setting. So I can still move and I'll go to build and so now if I move one instance here, it is not affecting other one. When I go back to Unity and move him, it is not getting affected by this guy. So we just need to check if his instance is mine, then and then I have to update or any movement. Let's say if you are applied animation to this thing. Let's say if you have one more method that can, let's say animation. Currently our character don't have animation, right? But if we have some animation stuff. So for that as well, we'll just check if it is photon view and it is not mine, then we'll just return. So not only update, but whatever animation or whatever visual stuff or input related stuff that we are attaching to this particular player, we need to check if this is my photon view or someone else and do work appropriately, right? So does anybody following up till now? Do you guys have some questions or how this is working or any doubt how regarding photon view or in general networking related stuff.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. You used input dot get axis in raw, horizontal, and vertical, right?
Yeah.
How can I decide this?
How can I?
Because this? How can I decide that this is horizontal and vertical? So any this thing, any settings are there in Unity itself?
Yeah.
So I don't want that horizontal. Without that I used up and down. How can
Yes,
I
you can.
change it?
You
How can I
can.
change it?
You can
Yeah,
just
instead of
shape.
instead of horizontal input dot get axis raw, instead of horizontal I used is an up, and vertical I use, sorry, in vertical I use left. Okay, how can
Okay.
I change that value in Unity?
You can directly use keys here. You can directly, instead of using this target velocity vector, you can use
Yes,
touch screen as well.
that
So
that
it is
everything
totally
is beautiful.
depend on Unity's input system classes, like whatever
Where
you want
can
to.
where can I change the class, that name? Instead of horizontal I used up and down, instead of
Okay.
vertical I used left right. Where can I change it?
Okay. You can either use vertical get axis. Let me check in documentation because I don't remember everything. But you can use, I mean, just any setting from, project setting input. So you can change it from here. If you want to change the name from horizontal to up down, you can change it here and
So
edit it here as well.
so now you that difficulties, right? If you collaborate with a few people, somebody play these kind of things. So instead of horizontal, somebody change horizontal 1, horizontal 2, like that. In that time we getting problem, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why if you work with something, my suggestion, don't use get axis like horizontal and vertical. That's my suggestion. Depending on you, you can use it.
So
But somebody, I also face this kind of issues. So that's
so
it.
basically what in the production pipeline, what happened is these decisions are made by designers, not the programmers. And
That movement, no, your programmer only decide that movement key.
yeah,
So
and
vertical
when you are using Git repo, you can pinpoint who messed it up.
yeah.
So if somebody
play that.
edited, you can
Yeah.
Git blame it and you can figure out why you are changing this.
Okay, so that's a reason behind that.
So
Okay,
basically, if
then
someone change it, someone change it setting over here, and you open
yes.
Git and check
But
this particular guy changing it.
okay.
So that's the pretty simple solution. It is human problem.
So that's a okay. Go ahead. It's
Anyway, so I guess I have taken more than sufficient time provided to me. So I'm open for the apart from. Can I know your name?
my name.
Yeah.
Prabhakar.
Acha, okay, Prabhakar. I thought some student were asking me. Sorry. So
Okay.
anyway, I was expecting a lot more questions from student instead of you. But yeah, if students are still interested in learning about stuff,
Okay.
can I get an actual question from student?
So that's why they didn't ask any question. That's why I asked.
Yeah, it's cool. It's okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you, sir. It's a great session. Okay.
Uh, I hope you, I mean, not all the
We
students
enjoyed it. We enjoyed
understand or learn something new today.
it.
I am not getting any feedback from them anyhow. I guess I
Yeah,
scared them.
just call their names. Only.
Uh, okay, lots of them left. I guess I'm not good teacher.
No, no, sir, no, sir. When I post that feedback form, no, so that's why they fill it and execute like this. So somebody raise the hand, sir. Check with that.
Dear student, fill the feedback form. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. I guess I will just end the session here.
Okay. Yeah, students fill the feedback form. Okay. Once I start.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Mm.
Thank you. It was nice having you.
Okay.